this is archaeological interpretation. So there are no texts for this. We don't read anything about it. But what we find in the ground is that typically, and you don't need to have modern statistics for this, typically when you look at ancient cemetery sites in Egypt and other parts of the world, typically infant burials represent 25% of the total burials at the sites. So, and that's pretty even all the way through the ancient history, really. So 25% infants, the rest adults, people who survive into adulthood. So in this place of Aris, at some point in time, we can't pin it down exactly, suddenly it jumps to 50% of infants burials. Okay, so there's a doubling of the number of infants. Now, that is surprising, and it surprised the archaeologists when they found this. So then we take a second step now, and we look at the remaining adult burials, the ones who do not die in infancy, who are found in the same cemeteries. Okay, now that's the other 50% of the population, effectively. And when they've analyzed the skeletal remains of those adults, they find there are 5 females to every 3 males. Okay, which means there's a skew in the population, more females than males. So the question is, can we relate that to the increase of the infant burials? Does that mean that we've got some sort of vague evidence of the culling of the male infant Hebrews and Israelites by Pharaoh for fear of the male population becoming more dominant? They're much safer having female slaves than they are having male slaves, because the male slaves can revolt, the female slaves won't revolt. Okay, so this is the policy of the Egyptian pharaohs to make slaves out of the Israelites who had prospered in the land. So you can look at that and say, well, that's just an interpretation of the archaeology. Correct, but we have no text to prove it, but it does fit with the story of the culling of the male infants at the time of the slavery period and the time of Moses, in fact.